So what we are going to learn today is about the Python. So today I will give you some introduction how we can install and how can we run the Jupyter Notebook, because I know there are some students who are the first time to learn the Jupyter Notebook. I know there are many students who are familiar with the Jupyter Notebook. So I need to be, like I need to start from the scratch to help the students who are the first to know about Jupyter Notebook, who are the first to know about Python. Okay. So we are going to use the Jupyter Notebook. Oops, sorry. I guess I need to change this one. Yeah. So we need to understand how we install and how we run and what is the Jupyter Notebook in the first time before we run. So I'm sorry if you already familiar with the Jupyter Notebook, but I would like to start from the scratch to help the students who are the first time to understand this Jupyter Notebook. So the Jupyter Notebook is an open source web application. So you can use to create and share documents. And actually it is a live code. So if you know how to develop the server, okay, so you can share your code to other people. And also we can create equation, we can create visualization, and then we can create text. And the development of the Jupyter Notebook goes to the Jupyter Lab. Okay. Both of them are good tools. Okay, so you can use either Jupyter Notebook or Jupyter Lab. The difference is only the environment. So Jupyter Lab is the next generation user interface of Project Jupyter, and it is the same with the Jupyter Notebook. It contains the notebook, the terminal, text editor, file browser, rich outputs, and it is more flexible and more powerful in the user interface. So if you are using the Jupyter Notebook, it is more static, but if you are using Jupyter Lab, it is more flexible. So the basic idea of the Jupyter Lab is to bring all the building blocks that are in the classic notebook, and there will be some new stuff, and it will be under the same roof, or it is in the same platform. So if you are installing the Anaconda, okay, so I hope that you don't have any issues with the installation. Okay. If you install the Anaconda, after you do the installation, you can see this Anaconda navigator. Okay. And if you want to run your Jupyter Notebook, yeah, you can choose the Jupyter Notebook. If you want to use the Jupyter Lab, you can use the Jupyter Lab, this one. Okay. If you want to use other kind of environment, for example, yeah, I want to use Spider. Yeah, you can use this Spider. Or there is also a part of Python. You can use the PyQt. Okay, PyQt is a user interface to write the code in Python. Of course, it is more text-based or script-based. So I would like to recommend you to use the Jupyter Notebook or Jupyter Lab because it is more convenient and it's more flexible. And if you understand the Jupyter Notebook, you can do with many other environments. Let's say For your final project, for example, you want to use the Google Colab. So the Google Colab is one of the development from Google. So you can write your Python code on the cloud or on the web. And yeah, you can use your Google account to make the Google Colab. And the environment is totally similar with the Jupyter Notebook. Or if you can connect to Kaggle. So Kaggle is also one of the famous websites about the data science, and they have the Jupyter Notebook environment. So if you have your account at Kaggle, you can do coding directly in Kaggle, and the environment is totally the same with Jupyter Notebook. So what I explained to you last time, yeah, you can install the Anaconda. So I hope that you already finished the installation. The first is you can just install the Anaconda. If you think that you want to install the Python, yeah, you can. It's up to you. You can choose. If you do not want to install the Python, that's also fine. So we can try to adjust how you can run your Python in your computer. So I think, yeah, only Anaconda is enough because of the space consumption. If you install Anaconda and Python, the space will be more. Okay. So the Anaconda, I guess it is about like 400 megabyte. And Python, I think is about 70, so I don't know, around 50 megabyte. So if you install both of them, yeah, of course, the memory consumption will be higher. So you can just install Anaconda. And yeah, if you want to install Python, it is an optional. And after you have your Anaconda, okay, I hope that you already have your Anaconda. So this is another step. Okay. What I want to teach you here is to do the Jupyter Notebook execution. Okay. So when you run the Jupyter Notebook, I guess I missed one step here. Okay. Run the Jupyter Notebook. The first, you can use the Anaconda Navigator. When you want to use the Anaconda Navigator, you can find on the search here. On the Windows, you can have your Anaconda Navigator like this one. And then if you click this Anaconda Navigator, it will run your Anaconda user interface. And when you wait for some time, it will show you the user interface of the Anaconda Navigator containing some of the platforms for the Jupyter Notebook or Jupyter Lab or other tools from the Anaconda. Okay, so you can see now, yes, Anaconda Navigator help you to see the command prompt, or it connects to other tool like IBM and Jupyter Lab, Jupyter Notebook, PowerShell from, and PyCharm Professional, and so on. Okay, so when you have this Anaconda Navigator, you can connect to any other tools what you want to do with the Python. And if you want to run like the Jupyter Notebook, you can just press launch here. there's a launch button, and then yeah, you can make the first Jupyter Notebook environment. Or if you do not want to use this Jupyter Notebook, let's say you want to use the Jupyter Lab, then you can also press the launch here. And you can see the Jupyter Lab environment. Okay. So that's the first to do to run your Jupyter Notebook and Jupyter Lab. Next, the second way to run your Jupyter Lab or Jupyter Notebook is from the command prompt. If you want to run the Jupyter Notebook or Jupyter Lab from the command prompt, sometimes it is less memory consumption, because you will run only one program. Okay. So if you run the Anaconda Navigator, it consumes more memory. But if you use the command prompt, it will consume less memory. Okay. So it's up to you. If your computer is having a high memory, you can use the number one. But if your computer has less memory, I would like to recommend you to the second with the command prompt. If you want to use the command prompt, you can follow my direction. So I think in this computer you can see Myong Rong prompt. Actually, this is the command prompt. Okay, so sim. If I write in English command prompt, you can see this is Myong Rong prompt. And what I want to do here is you can just call Jupyter Notebook. Oops, error. Why? Because in the computer, they do not know where is your Python, where is your Jupyter Notebook, where is your Jupyter Lab. Okay. So that's why I give you this installation steps. Okay. If you are using this Anaconda, so please check where is your Anaconda, and then you need to put the environment variables so the command prompt can understand where is your Python file. So I would like to teach you how to do this one. Let's assume that this is the folder where you put your Anaconda. Okay. Let me check. Where is this Anaconda? Sayunja, IME, Anaconda 3. Okay. So I install this Anaconda in this folder. So you can check where you install your Anaconda. And then after this, okay, you can see in the PPT, you need to go to the edit the system environment variables. So you can see here, system 환경 변수 편집. Okay, so you can search the system 환경 변수 편집. When you click this one, then you will see a pop-up system song. I guess it is the same with this English. Yeah, I'm sorry. I'm using the Windows in English. And you will see that it is the translation from the English one. You can see Sol Jong, yeah, this one C and then you can see this Wangyong Byunsu. Okay, you can see here Wangyong Byunsu. So you just click this one, and then it will show you one environment, Wangyong Byunsu. So this is the environment variables. In order to fit with your computer, so you can just click on the path here. Okay. Now you can see that I have several links, or I have several paths here. This is to indicate where you want to run your program when you use the command prompt. In my case, I would like to use this Anaconda. Okay. And then I show you here. The first folder that you need to put is the Anaconda tree. So I don't know what is the name of your folder, okay, but make sure that, yeah, if you are using this way, please make sure that your folder is in the alphabet. As I remember, it will not work if this is in Korean. So if your computer name is in Korean, I'm afraid it will not work. So try to change it. Maybe you can change the folder installation, or you need to change your name into English. That will be better. So now in my case, in this computer, the name is IME. So users IME and Anaconda tree. So I can just copy this one, and then I put in the Wangyong Byunsu Pyonjip. And then I have the second one. So the first is to put only the folder Anaconda tree. The second is to put the folder scripts under the Anaconda tree. And the last one is to put the folder library under the Anaconda tree. Okay, so maybe I will. It will be better here. And then you can put the scripts. Okay, so make sure you have these three folders under the Wangyong Byunsu Pyonjip. And if you already have this one, you can click OK, again. And then if you run again the command prompt, let's see. Oh, I have some errors here. Oh, okay. I think I need to handle this error later. Okay, so it means I cannot use this environment at this moment. Okay, so if you have like this kind of error, later please let me know. I guess I need to do something more for this one. So if you have that kind of error, yeah, let me know. If you have no errors, then you can just run. On the other hand, if you have the Python file, okay, So if you install the Python, then you need to find out where is your Python installation. So you can do the same like what I did before. Okay. So you can go to the system environment variables, system and then you can edit the environment variables, and then yeah, you can add more variables to the path. Okay, so here it means you will add the Python folder. In this case, if I have this folder, then you can just copy and paste to the environment variables. But I guess if you do not want to use Python, you can just use the Anaconda. It will be enough. If you want to use this command prompt, actually in my command prompt, Python is working well. Okay. So Python, I think, is working well. Okay. In this case, it is okay, but the Jupyter Notebook doesn't work with the command prompt. So I need to check later. Okay. So at this moment, I guess it will be good if we just use the Anaconda Navigator. Maybe I have this one. I have already opened the Anaconda Navigator, so I couldn't run from the command prompt. Okay, anyway, so let's start with the first Jupyter Notebook or Jupyter Lab. Okay. As I mentioned to you, you have some option to open the Jupyter Notebook or Jupyter Lab. You can do with the command prompt and type the Jupyter Lab, or you can type the Jupyter Notebook. Yeah, unfortunately, it doesn't work in my computer. I will check it later. Or you can use this Anaconda Navigator, and then you can run the Jupyter Lab or Jupyter Notebook. I recommend you to use the Jupyter Lab because it is easier for you to understand the environment. So let's do step by step of this one. Let me just use this Anaconda Navigator, and then I would like to launch this. So I'm going to launch this Jupyter Lab. Now this is the first environment. And yeah, if you are using another environment like R, okay, or if you want to connect with other environments as website, yeah, you can include more extensions. Okay, but for this one, we are just having the Python. Okay? So you can just click the Python tree. This means, yeah, you can see here we have the Python tree as a notebook, and then you can have also another Python tree as a console. So it's different, notebook and a console. So if it is a console, then you just a script typing all the Python code. But we are going to use this notebook environment. Before you create this one, you need to make sure where is your folder. Okay. So in the left panel, actually it is the folder name. Now I'm creating my folder. I'm creating my folder in this one is the DSA 2022, and then I create a new folder notebook. So this is my environment for the Jupyter Notebook. every time I create a new file of the Jupyter Notebook, it will be created here. So if I open the Jupyter Notebook, you can see that now it will create the new environment. Okay, it will be easier to see. It is bigger. And after you have this one, okay, you can adjust or you can rename the file. Let's say I would like to rename it first class. Now you will see the file name change to the first class.ipynb. Okay, so you can create a file and then you can rename the file. Maybe if you are doing with the assignment, if you are using this environment, yeah, you can create and then you can rename. So there are some basic things you can use in this Jupyter Lab. We have code, we have markdown, and we have raw. What is code? Code is the option to write code in Python. Markdown is the option to write description or comments on the code. And raw is the option to write using some other tools. For example, using LaTeX. So the raw will be used on the LaTeX for this NB convert to PDF via LaTeX. Okay. So we can skip the raw. Okay, I think for this course you will need only to use the code and the markdown. You can see from this one, you can see this is the code. If it is code, then you can type any Python code. If you select, you have the markdown and you have raw. If you are creating markdown, now this environment is a little bit different. It is to describe something about the text or comments you want to write on your Python. Okay, so I would like to explain some basic things in the notebook before we finish our class today. When you are using the Jupyter Lab or Jupyter Notebook, you can use this, can use shelf to write a comment in the section of code. So if you write the code, okay, you write this one, this is a comment. So if you already learned the computer programming, comment, what is comment? Okay, if I press enter, comment is a description of your code. So you can type anything, you can type in your language, let's say, okay. So you can type anything and it will be only for description. It is to describe that what you want to write in your Python code. If you want to write your Python code, you need to execute a cell. So when you execute the cell, there are two kind of key. The first is Shift Enter and the other is Alt Enter. If it is a Shift Enter, you will execute only one cell. if it is Alt Enter, it will execute the cell and then you will make a new line. Let's see. I would like to print half. Okay. I want to do this one, print half. You can run with this button. Okay. This button is about to run the code. When you click this one, then you will run this statement or this Python code and see the result. And this is the result. This is half. Now, if I use the Shift plus Enter, okay, what happens? I will do Shift plus Enter. So when you do it Shift Enter, you will print this one and then you will make a new cell. What happens if I use the Alt plus Enter? I will use Alt and Enter. Oops, it's the same. Oh, because maybe this is the last one. Oh, I don't know. Okay, I think it's the new one, the new of the Python. It shows the. Let me check again. Print Yongin. Okay. Okay. If I do with the Shift Enter, you can see there is no new line. Okay. But how about if I change this one with Alt Enter? You can see there is a new line created after you execute the cell. Okay. You can do with the Alt Enter and Shift Enter. And you can also use this function. For example, this one is to save your notebook. This plus button means to make a new cell. Okay, so you can create a new cell. Or you can cut or delete the cell. Okay. Or you can copy. So you can copy the cell and then you can paste the cell. Okay. So you can paste the cell and then you can cut the cell. Okay. And yeah, this one is to run the selected cell and this one is to stop. So the Jupyter Notebook will stop once you click this one. And this one is to restart the kernel. Why do we need to restart? Sometimes when you create your code, maybe it will stop because of the infinite loop or because of any errors that you cannot handle. Then yeah, you need to restart. This one is to restart the kernel and then run the whole notebook. So if you have like this 1, 2, 3, 4 lines, okay, if you restart, nothing happens. Okay? But if you do with this one, you will restart the kernel and then it will run again from the first one. And you can see that this line, okay, 1, 2, 3, 4, it indicates the sequence. So you already execute 4 cells. Okay, so that one is the first to understand about the Jupyter Lab. You can also do with the Jupyter Notebook. And make sure you know that this extension file is IPYNB. And you can move the cells to other notebook files. So let's see. I have a new one. So I want to block this one. So you can use shift, okay? Shift, and then you can copy. So you know this is the copy cell, and then you can go to another file, and then you can paste. So all the cells that you just copy, it can be pasted to another Jupyter Notebook file. And it is also the same if you are doing with the Jupyter Notebook. When you run your Jupyter Notebook, let's say I'm using the DSA 2022, okay? So I'm using this folder notebook. So I would like to create a new file. In this Jupyter Notebook, I can create new, and then I can create Python 3. So yeah, it will be a new Jupyter Notebook environment. You can change the notebook name. Let's say this is first from Jupyter Notebook. Okay, for example. So this is just a name. You can create any name, and it will be the same. But the option I think is more than the Jupyter Lab. However, I think all the functions are similar. So you can use print hello. Okay. If you want to run this one, you can click this and then you can see the result. And here you can have the code markdown, raw, and heading. So what does it mean by heading? Yeah, we will learn more on Friday. Okay, I guess it's the time to wrap up our class today. So we will learn more about the Python primer. It's the first step of the Python, and then we will learn also about the object oriented starting from Friday. Okay, any questions?